Welcome to the Coach's Corner. Coach Clarence is an entrepreneur, financial expert, and passionate about helping people build and market their business. He has a creative flair for thinking outside the box and is always looking for the positive side of life. Now, here's Coach Clarence.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Fit Over 40. I'm your host, Coach Clarence. And by the time this episode comes out, you will have went through Thanksgiving, Black Friday. You will have went through Cyber Monday, and you will be either spent from spending your hard-earned money. You will be regretting decisions you made during the Thanksgiving weekend. All that said, we are here. We are live. And we have a chance to be better every day, every time we get out of bed. And that's what we're rolling with today. So really my concept today is countdown to 2024. We are all in the same space. We all have the same amount of time. We all have the same 24 hours. So now what we want to do is figure out how to end this year on a positive note. So I want to drop a couple gems about mindset, fitness, mindset, finances. That's that triangle. That's not the rock. Nothing to do with that. It is my little triangle, and that's the formula of Fit Over 40. Each and every one of you will get to 40, and if you're already past 40, you'll get to 50 and 60, God willing. I turned 53 a few weeks ago, and it has been quite an interesting run. Sorry, my eye was kind of twitching. I didn't want to restart this, so here we are. I love doing stuff live, so you get to see me make my mistakes. I don't edit out stuff. If I say something, we just either correct it or we keep rolling. And I think that's what people appreciate about my show. We just run with it, you know. Now, obviously, if I make a really tactical error, like I say something crazy, like interest rates are 2% tomorrow, I got to correct that, obviously, you know. So anyway, so let's start with mindset. Okay, what should our mindset be going into 2024? And my thing is right now, you need to start planning for January, February, March. And in mindset, how are you going to approach this year? What are you going to do different than you did before? What are mistakes you made? You have to constantly be evaluating. One of the things we do with our clients is we do weekly accountability calls so that we can assess everything and you don't allow too much time and you forget things that happen. So accountability is important because it allows you to see the mistakes you made, grow, learn from them, and then do better. So this is one of the important things. So let's talk mindset for a better 2024. You should be able to look back and see everything you did wrong, whether it's business, finances, things that upset you, things that stressed you, people in your life. You always are having to do a profit and loss sheet. And that's not just money, it's everything. What is bringing you good? What is taking away? In life, there's give and take. There's going to be profit, there's going to be loss. So you need to evaluate everything, your circle, your family, where are you giving too much energy? Where do you need to give more? I'm going to tell you have to start with yourself first, because if you don't start with yourself, then nothing else you do is going to be any good. Okay. So what does that mean? In our circle, Fit Over 40, taking care of yourself is eating the right foods, thinking the right thoughts, being around the right energy. Who's your circle of five? As you guys have heard before, everybody that's in my circle of five makes more money than me, does way better than me. It doesn't make sense for me to have somebody under me because I can't learn from them. Now, don't get me wrong. You have people that you know you can help level up, but everybody in my circle does better than me. You see my podcast. I'm always talking to someone who's bigger, better, doing bigger things because that's how I get to grow. And that's how you get to grow. Okay. So mindset, set out some clear goals for what you want in your January and your 2024 in total to look like. Just start with the first quarter. We know most people are like, oh, I'm going to stop drinking. I'm going to stop eating shit. I'm going to stop doing all these things. Okay, you don't have to wait to January to do that. You can start. But here's what you don't want to do. Make this big prediction. Oh, I'm going to do it by the second week of January. I'm going to be all these things. Just start with something basic. Evaluate your pros and cons list and go, what can I realistically start doing now? If you're in my fitness group on Facebook, we talked about things you can do. Like we always meet up for drinks or dinner with a friend. How about meeting up for a walk? I talk about that in our group. We do a Monday challenge every Monday if you're in our group. And every week I give people in the group a challenge that they can take on. People are great. People tell me, oh, I did the challenge. Some people never say nothing. Then I see them, they go, oh, I do your challenges. I'm like, wow, you should say something. Let other people know so they don't think it's just some weird freaks in here. Tell other people your goals. Have an accountability partner, okay? Accountability partner will check in with you and say, well, how did you do this week? How was this? How was that? What can you do better? That's what an accountability partner will do for you. So your mindset is really just how you react to things, how you see things, and how, again, you avoid things. A good mindset means that doesn't affect me like it used to. Whether it's a personal relationship, whether it's somebody at work, how you deal with things. Because we know stress is one of the biggest problems that all of us face. We all have to deal with it, whether it's financial, relationships. All these things affect us. And if we don't have our stuff together collectively, you're going to deal with things in a really bad way. If you know people cutting you off, people driving slow, drive earlier, take a different route. There are all these little things you can do to avoid the things that trigger certain behaviors in you. And that's what mindset really is. And I'm not getting too deep because each of you have a different situation. Just little mindset, James. How much time are you spending meditating before you go to bed? How much time are you spent sitting in front of the TV just absorbing garbage that's on TV? We all are guilty of it. I mean, right now, sports is really going to be big as we move towards the playoffs. And that's exciting if you like football or basketball, whatever your sport is right now. But I'm talking about the negativity. Although sometimes, depending on what team you cheer for, that's negativity. If you're a Cowboys fan, you're an Arizona fan, you're frustrated every week. Are there shows that you watch that are triggering you, like the news? We know the news is very polarizing. We know politics are very polarizing. So step away from those issues unless they really matter to you. And there are better sources to get the truth about what's in a bill or what someone's proposing without watching the pundits who are paid to disrupt, put out disinformation, to lead you in a certain way. Those things all affect mindset. Mindset is simply you being in control of you. Who is you? As a kid say, who is you? When we were young, we'd say something to a little kid and they would say, who is you? Well, I'm so-and-so. A practice that I learned from Dick Gregory was when someone says, how are you doing? Your response says a whole lot. Not only are you speaking it to the universe, you're speaking it to yourself, you're speaking to that person. I'm tired, man. I'm sick. I don't feel like being here. You're telling those are messages that your subconscious is dialing in every 5 seconds. I feel great. I'm amazing, man. How are you? This is going to be a wonderful day. That's a whole different feeling. Even you get livelier when you say that versus, I don't feel good. You ever seen somebody go, I don't feel good smiling? No, they go, oh, man, I don't feel good. But how about I feel good? It's going to be a good day. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z that I set out to do. So these are some things you can be focused on in mindset. But again, evaluate where you are now and be honest. If you can't be honest with everybody else, at least be honest with yourself, because you got to look at yourself in the mirror, every morning. Know where you are and where you're trying to be. Okay. So if we're looking at it as this countdown to 2024, what are things that were pitfalls? Like me, I'm able to evaluate my business. There were some huge mistakes. There were some wins, but there were a lot more mistakes. And so when I sit down for my 2024, I'm able to evaluate those up and down. And I'm able to make some decisions that are going to be different so that they don't happen again in 2024. So that's a little bit on mindset. That's really planning, giving yourself a direction, giving yourself an avatar. Who am I? How do I want to show up? What relationships can I mend? One thing is big for me now is I don't have beef with anybody. I mean, nobody. I've had issues with people. I've been sued. I have had people not like me. People want to beat me up. People probably want to do worse things than that. Who knows? But at this time, I don't have those beef with those people. I have squashed those things with those who want to be squashed. Don't get me wrong. There are people who just want to hold on to that hate. That's on them. But you can always sit down and say, hey, Clarence, man, we have this issue. Let's talk about it. I'm with that 100%. Okay. That's another thing of mindset. Letting go of things that you just can't control. You can't go back and fix something from 10 years. All you can do is control how you show up here and into the rest of your life, however long that is. So when we think mindset, think of things that I can do better by people and mainly for myself. Because if you're showing up at 100% for yourself, it automatically parlays into how you show up for everybody else. So that's mindset. That's what the mindset should be. Now, mindset trickles into all these other quadrants: fitness, finances, mindset. Okay, so let's talk fitness. Okay, everybody's it's a pattern. Everybody's like, okay, New Year's coming. I'm gonna start all over. I'm gonna start this habit. Change is instant. All you got to do is say, I'm not gonna do something anymore. Map out things that you could do better. Don't try to shotgun it and do all these big things at once. Start small. Start small and go, I'm going to start with this thing. For example, if you eat out all the time, you eat randomly, consider a meal prep service. Okay. Consider having a consultation to the person, know how much you should eat. Because once you know how much you can eat, then you can, it gets a little easier to figure out the right things that you should be consuming. Number 2, figure out what your goals and does your lifestyle align with your goals. Most people that I talk to, they just want to be able to keep up with their kids. There's something hurting. They want to live pain-free. Their goals change when they get over 40. So maybe your goal in 2024 is I need to drop a few pounds. I just don't feel like myself. I don't feel like my clothes fit. I don't feel comfortable when I'm out at the pool or at the beach. These are some things that we can dial in and get you some direct, time-tested methods that work. Sometimes for most folks, it's just getting a little more activity. Commit to doing a little bit more than you were doing yesterday, and you'll automatically improve. People think fitness, they think all these big things. They're looking at these influencers and doing all these workouts. One of the reasons I don't post what I do for workouts and stuff like that all the time is because then people think that's what they got to do. There's nothing wrong with showing how to do an exercise. I have tons of videos you guys have seen where I'm showing people how to do a certain exercise. But in general, we got to figure out what works for you. You might be 60 years old and maybe you don't want to do hang cleans in the gym. Or maybe you don't want to do kips, or deep squat 500 pounds. Maybe you're not even physically able to do that. So you don't have to do that, but you could do some. You could do calisthenics. You could do body weight. You could do all types of things. The sky is unlimited on what you can do once you have a plan. You have to go into everything in life with a plan, because if you don't have a plan, you don't have direction. And that's why most people fail. They walk into a brand new gym, they see all the shiny equipment, the guy gives them around. Maybe you hire a trainer for 1 or 2 workouts. You can't afford to sign up, so you go, I'll remember this, I'll just do it. Nowadays, we have no excuse. I coach people online. We literally send you videos. We've eliminated every possible thing that could be a challenge. Usually at the end of the day, the challenge is you. You not showing up for you. How do we fix that? First, by understanding who's the responsible party. And who is the responsible party? You. Get rid of that inner bitch that's telling you no, that's throwing shade at anything positive you do. Turning off certain channels. Stop following certain people that trigger you. Maybe it's time to say goodbye to a person that you think is going to change in a way that works for you. And maybe you guys are both at a certain age. After 40, 50, people are kind of who they are. You got to find somebody that fits with you, is super important. A lot of people are not drinking as much as they used to. They're finding no value in that. And I'm not here to say you shouldn't drink. You should. You find the balance that works for you in your life and your goals. A lot of people are committing to just being better physically, and because it's not, the engine is not getting, there's not going to be a recall of your body and you get a new engine. So you got to kind of take care of the one you have now. And so my commitment to you and those that I coach is we're going to continue to show you things that are going to move the needle forward. You know, the reason I wanted to do Fit Over 40 is because I wanted to relate to the people that I was coaching. You know, I wanted to relate to a segment of people who dealt with issues beyond maybe deciding what college they want to go to. Maybe, do I want to get pregnant? Now, there's nothing wrong if you're in your 40s or 50s, you want to have another baby and go through that again and, you know, knock off 20 years of your life. Hey, God bless you, do your thing. Okay. That's on you. But the point I'm saying is that most people past a certain age, they have different goals. Sometimes you're surviving, moving pain-free, not hurting as much, not being stuck in the same rut anymore, those type of things. So with that said, people have been asking me about Thanksgiving to do. I have all this leftover foods. Great. Let's talk about meal prep. Obviously, the things that maybe like a lot of sweets and desserts, donate that stuff. There's some homeless people, and I'm not saying give homeless people crappy food, but there are people who can use that. You know, you're not going to eat it. It's just sitting there. It's a temptation. If you don't have the willpower yet, and you're not just there, you're going to eat that junk food. But the good foods that you made, you have vegetables, depending on how you make. Now, I know some people are like, look, none of this food is good. We're just going to toss it away. But that turkey, if you have turkey, man, trim that turkey. Store some of that food. You can make all kinds of things with turkey leftovers, you know. Grind it up, make sandwiches, you know. Ground turkey is bomb, you know. Again, depending on what you have. Again, let's just have a conversation. People will call me and say, let me just call me. I get them on their FaceTime and we go to the refrigerator and I go, keep that. Here's what you could do with that. So leftovers, if you have extra stuff, especially the proteins, clean up the stuff, get rid of some of the nastier pieces of it. Save that for meal prep down the road. Speaking of meal prep, you need to meal prep or you need to hire a service. You cannot wing it if you want to be successful. Now, again, once you get to a certain place and you know your numbers and you know where you can bend here and there, that's the beauty of it. Then it doesn't matter. You can live your life. I don't have anybody on a really strict diet where they can't eat this, they can't eat that. We really modify it to their lifestyle, and that's what we'll do for you. All right, so we got Christmas. That's a one-day thing. Now we have the holiday parties. How are we going to show up for the holiday parties? Every year I put out my holiday survival guide. I just update it. It's really the same message, but if there's something new and exciting, I update it, you know. You guys can check for that if you're in my fitness group, and also if you follow me on Instagram, I will put that out there. If you're on Instagram, it's at Clarence M. Ferguson. That's it. I used to have 2 pages, as most of you know, and now I combined them into one. So there's a lot of information, and I'm trying to make it all work and make it make sense. And I seem to be getting a pretty good response from that. What else on fitness? Man, you got to just move. You got to just get on something. You got to start doing it. If you're not moving, start moving. And if you're moving and you're hurting yourself and you think you got to do too much, don't do too much. One of the easiest things that we could do is walk. Get together with a group of friends and hike. Reach out to me if you like to hike and you live in Arizona. I'll hike with you. You know, I'm not super fast, but I enjoy it. But for me, it's more of a brain dump. I enjoy looking at nature, and I go at my own pace. You know, obviously, if you just getting started, it's going to take you a while to acclimate to that incline. But once you get there, it's golden. It's golden, baby. I love hiking, but also I'm a person who likes to walk a lot, and I like to walk on an incline treadmill. So that's just kind of my thing. But I'll tell you, started hiking a couple months ago, just get back into it, and it killed me. So don't rush to get back out there and quit because you feel like you're a failure. It takes a while to get really good at hiking. Like anything else, it's said principles. What is that? Applied imposed demand. Okay, specific applied imposed demand. That's, you know, if you're a runner and you decide to go sprinting, well, you're probably not going to be that good. If you're a sprinter who tries to go long distance running, it's going to take you a while to build that endurance. Anything you try to do is new. I have people all the time say, Well, you've been lifting all these years. Why can't you do that? Well, my body is not adjusted. That's a different energy system that's pushing that. So that's kind of the meaning of that without getting too deep. So fitness, it's the same message. There's nothing new here. There's nothing magic. It is commitment. And how do you commit? Because we know commitment and motivation runs out. So just find some daily habits that you can keep. And once you get real good at those daily habits, add some more. Add some more. Commit to waking up earlier, committing to be more productive. Read. We know Andrew Frisella, he does the 10 pages a day. That's a lot. Turn out that TV and plug some positivity in your mind. You know, it's okay to watch sports. It's okay to follow certain podcasts and certain things, the things that you're interested in. But just remember, make sure you're balancing that out with some other things, maybe another opinion. Here's a thought. Talk to someone who has a different opinion. It doesn't have to be an argument. And I'm not talking about on social media because people are defensive, but have a conversation with someone. Say, hey, man, I want to have an argument. Or, hey, girl, I don't want to have an argument. But I'm curious why you believe that. You know, I just trying to understand. And a lot of times there's some commonality. It might be little things that separate you two. So keep that in mind. But again, on this countdown to 2024, let's talk the mortgages, finances. Where's your credit at? Make a commitment to having the highest credit score. As you've heard me say over and over and over and over and over again, you should check your credit twice a year. You need to know what's on there, any mistakes, any wrong addresses, any information. If you have a name that's common, make sure someone else's stuff didn't land on your credit report. Okay. I always tell people it's easy to get on there, harder to get off, but there are ways to get things removed legally. Okay. And we're not telling you to be irresponsible, but there are ways to do things that improve your credit score really quick. As far as mortgages, I had two great deals happen. You know, I had a gentleman, I started working with him about 6 months ago. His wife had great credit. He had some challenges. So we had a consultation. I mapped out a plan for him. I said, if you stick with me for 60 to 90 days, you'll be able to buy a house. You'll be equal to your spouse in terms of credit. Guess what? He did it. It took him a while. He had to go through the process. He had to pay things off. He had to wait to see how the credit bureaus responded, but we got him up and he's buying a house. Contract got accepted, actually, as I'm recording this. So they closed sometime in January. That's great. Another young lady came to me and she wanted to put 100 grand down, which is great, which would have been about 22%. But she was like, oh, the interest rate. But then after conversating, where we talked about how to leverage some of the money she was going to use to put down, buy that interest rate down. Makes sense. You know, she's going to be there for a while. It makes sense. She'll get her money back over time. So there are options right now, people. Or if you've racked up a high amount of debt, and I know a lot of you are because it's the holiday season and Christmas, and you're going to want to go out and shop and rack your credit cards up, you'll need to be looking at a HELOC, okay? Closed-end second mortgage. Combine that debt because I guarantee you the rate I give you is going to be way lower than the rate you're paying on those credit cards. We're seeing record high credit card debt right now, record high car payments. Consolidate that stuff, use your equity and pay that off into one payment. And then there are other financial strategies that we can introduce you to get your debt paid down so that you're debt free. That is what we're about. So when you say, what's Fit Over 40 going to be doing? We're going to be helping people financially, mentally, and physically. We are going to make us better people. That includes me. So I'm not giving you stuff I don't practice, I don't try to do, and we all fall short. We all make mistakes, and that's why we're here for each other. That's why I do this show every week. You know, I'm going to keep doing Coaches Corner. I'm bringing on high-level coaches so that you can hear a different message. That is the goal. We're going to get the YouTube channel higher. We're going to do a lot of things that are going to be fun this year, so stick with us if you are watching all this stuff. And if you're enjoying this, make sure you like and subscribe. That's huge. I mean, we don't say that enough. I don't, but I know you need to. Like and subscribe. Let's grow this audience. Let's grow this positivity. I won't keep you guys long. I know this is still kind of a relatively short week, you know, with the holiday just being over. And guess what? At the end of the week, we're in December, countdown to Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, all the different holidays that go on. And then we got a new year. What you gonna do? 5 weeks left in this year. How is your 2023 going to end? Ain't much you can do about those 11 months, but you can shape the 12th month and then on to the next one. All right, guys. Like I said, wasn't gonna keep you on here long. Countdown to 24. If you have questions, info@coachclarence.com, www.fitover40.online. Follow me on Facebook, Fit Over 40 with Coach Clarence. Join my group. It's free for the public. No nonsense in there. I've had to kick some people out. And dudes, quit trying to hit on the women in there. You're gonna get kicked out right away. It's just corny, man. If you like a chick, go to old fashioned way and get in her DM and be creepy that way. Crazy, or meet her somewhere. I don't know. That shit just bugs me. Anyway, I had to throw some people out. And obviously follow me on Instagram, Clarence and Ferguson, and TikTok, the real Coach Clarence. With that said, stay happy, stay bright, stay positive, and stay on the right side of history, folks. Have a good one. I'll see you guys on the next podcast. Take care. Hey, thanks for tuning in. If you like videos like this, you want to see more content like this, please make sure you hit the like button and hit that subscribe button so you get a video every time I drop something on this channel. Thanks again for listening, and make sure you share the podcast with someone you think it might help. Fit Over 40, I'm Coach Clarence.